And I say to the millions of members of organized labor, have heed, because those who fight for you and fight to win will find that out of this conviction, the zeal of Attorney General Robert Kennedy will be to destroy you unless you give in.
Jimmy Hoffa, on the one hand, is an important person in terms of labor history, and he symbolized both the power of labor, but also the menace that could come from that power, since he was notorious for his ties to organized crime and his willingness to look the other way in terms of corruption and criminality that might have occurred within his union.
Well, Mr. Hoffa, all I'm trying to find out, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. I'm trying to find out whose back you were going to break.
Figure of speech. Figure of speech.
He was so very real, right? He's the person that comes from nowhere. And so Jimmy Hoffa disappeared in an afternoon in late July in 1975. And he was never seen again. At this point, his myth is a key part of the American folklore, if you want. He's a well-known figure. He's someone whose story is invoked in popular culture in a range of different ways. It's one of those enduring mysteries in American history. And because of that, because there's no end to the story, people constantly put their own compelling end or their meaning to the narrative. And so it stays very much alive.
Only Jimmy Hoffa can rejoice at his continued good luck.
I think the compelling interest in that story offers us a chance to look at some of the key aspects of Hoffa's career and his role in history. In some ways, you could say that Hoffa, with his great popularity amongst workers and especially amongst his union members, in spite of the fact that there were allegations of corruption involving him, in spite of the fact that he seemed indifferent to those allegations, it symbolized for lots of people the way in which the white American working class did not see morality in the same way that others did, and in which they were drawn to him as a kind of anti-hero, as someone who could thumb his nose at the elite in American society, the Kennedys or the Washington members of Congress.
Nobody in this country respects what's weak. You believe me.
I think he offers a chance for people to look at the American labor movement and what it could do to transform the place of workers. But I also think he raises important issues for us about the role of corruption, that he symbolized for lots of people the menace of union corruption. And if you ask the members, what they would say is, they would say if he was engaged in corruption, it wasn't the kind of corruption that betrayed their interests. I think what I'd like people to get from my talk is just the way in which corruption is a very complex issue. You see it used in political discourse as kind of almost like a thoughtless buzzword. This person's corrupt or that person's corrupt. But there isn't really thought to what actually we mean when we say corruption, or the way that corruption charges are political tools that are used by really essentially all sides in the political debate.